Alright, today we're going to take a look at and do a review on the Lyman Borecam digital borescope. After my problem with leading up a barrel, I had to get in there and look at the bore, you know, with some degree of accuracy. And borescopes have been around for a while. You can get the Hawkeye borescope, which is more of a professional type of borescope, and that's sold by Brownells, or you can buy it from the company direct. And it's kind of like a medical one, or more of a professional scope. And it's about $800 to $1,000, and then you can hook a camera up to it, you know, because I went to the website and checked it out, where you can take video or clips of your bore and inspection and all that, or photographs of it. But the camera's $2,000, okay? So that's a little expensive. You can go with small little ones from eBay. There's a couple videos out there where these guys took these small cameras and used them. They cost about $30, $40. It's okay, but for me, I wanted something. I ended up buying this item, and the reason is there's some advantages to it, and there's not some advantages to it. It's give and take. So let's take a look at it. It cost me $214 with the shipping. You get this kit. Now, I haven't seen a lot of reviews. Just somebody has, you know, one that they're looking down a bore, and a lot of the reviews are foreign ones too, so, and they're different. So what you get in the kit here, try to open this up. You get the instruction manual, okay, which is, it's a pretty basic device. Take a look at it there. And that's what you get inside the box. Nice box, padded. Alright, you get this. I took the wraps off because I already had this out. You get the actual camera itself. I think it's a 20 or 22 inches. Yeah, it's 20 marked on the back here. 17. 20 inches. Alright, well, here, let me change the camera. I'll get a better look at all this stuff. Alright, like I said, there is an instruction manual, and the first thing is the actual camera and rod itself. Okay, if you look, it's got a marking that says lens. Now this comes in handy when we get into using it, so you know where the lens is. It's got a cord which plugs into one side of the monitor. It's got a little spacer which basically you can slide along through the bore. It gives you some control of going down. And the camera's mounted here in the end of the rod, and there's this little rubber tip, protective tip that comes off. And as you see, there's like a little angle, a mirror, and a light. When you plug this all together, that's where your camera is, in that little cutout up there. The only thing about this is this will only look upwards to your bore. It won't look straight down the bore. It looks up at the bore from a side view. It's one thing where that Hawkeye has an adapter that you can, you know, the camera's like mounted in the end. You look down the bore, or you put an adapter to look upwards into the rifling. There is a graduation on the back here. Now where this comes in handy and is neat, using that and where the lens is marked, you could take this down, find a spot in your bore, and write down on a piece of paper like the depth of 10, 15 inches, whatever, on this plug, and where your trouble area is. Try cleaning it, and then just coming back and seeing how well you did. So that's your camera end there. The next is your power supply. Okay, you got this little box here, And I believe these adapters come off. This is like set up for US. In this white box here, you will have in it all the adapters. There's about 5 or 6 of them in here for the different plugs. I know that's European. I don't know what this is. It's pretty humongous. But there's 4, you know, there's another one and one here. So there's 4 different adapters in this box for different power. But, you know, I'll never use it, so we'll just put that right back into the case. Now, I've seen a guy in Australia have one of these where there was some sort of USB power supply that you could use this in the field. But I've checked the website and that, and I can't find this feature or accessory anywhere. So this thing may be marketed differently outside of the United States. Okay, and then here you have your cord. And basically the cord got a USB connection, I guess, down here. There. You just plug the cord, I don't know if that was on the camera, into this. Now you have, you know, your little connection here. And you know, your rod, you have your connection here. So that's your power supply. Now the next thing, what's in here, is you have some swabs, some Q-tip swabs and some lens cleaner. You have the little connector that connects to your computer to save your photographs. And now you have basically the monitor itself. Okay, this is your display monitor, and if you look over in here, there's a card, 128 megabyte SD card, which plugs in here. And this, basically when you go down with the scope, you look on the monitor, and if you want to take a photo, you press capture. This mode is part of the setup, and these here, without going into mode, if you press these buttons, it controls the brightness of the camera. So I'll show you how to plug it all in. If you go to one side, you go to the side where the card is and that, and then this adapter, which goes on the rod, plugs into that there. Like that. So there your rod's hooked up, or your camera. And this adapter fits on this side. I believe they're different sizes, so you can't mix them up. And that's where you put your power in, on this side here. So now we're all set and ready. I'll go and plug this in, and we'll start taking a look at a board. Okay, here we have everything set up. You take the rifle or weapon in question, put it on a, I got it on a rest, so that way it holds it. And then now I know the orientation. And like I said, when I go in with this, you got it marked where the lens is. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, there you go. And you just place this, and what that is, tells you, can see it, is where the camera lines up, or where your view is. And then when you rotate it, it will go around. So you got power hooked up, everything. Here's your controls. You got your card in, and the on off button is in the back here. You just turn her on, and there you go. Camera's on, it's showing you the wood. Now I'm going to try to set this camera up and just show the monitor, okay? And then I'll go from gun to gun. Now this gun has a good bore, and It's kind of hard with these reflections and stuff. I'll try to set this up to where you can check it out. It's not really super clear or whatever, but we'll take a look at it as we go. Okay, I had to turn the lights off because the glare from my fluorescent lights was throwing this all off. Now we're going to place it into the bore, starting there. As you can see, it's our muzzle crown, and as we go in. Now you can use the plug, see my hand shaking, to steady it, or you can just, and that's just leaning in there. That gives you an idea. Now if you look at that, you can see where we're going to rotate it. It's a little bit of leading in the grooves, but you see where that bore is real nice. The metal's shiny, sharp, and a little bit of leading there. Okay, that's for my cast bullets. And that's what, you know, normal leading is. You get a little bit of residue in there. And this is so good, you could even see, I think those are chatter marks when they cut the barrel. So this barrel is like in, yeah, that's what that is, little chatter marks in the barrel. Now this is a mint bore, mint, shiny, clean, and you rotate, and you can see. That's what a good one looks like. And now, say you wanted to take a picture of it and save it to your card, what you would do is hit capture, and then when that little symbol comes up, it's taking a photograph and stores it onto your card. At that time, you can take a note from the measurement on the rod or whatever and what the orientation is, and that way it helps you when you want to clean or go back, or if you had the problem, you can recheck and see if your cleaning has taken it out. But it's not too terrible. I mean, you can make, with the lights down dim, you can make a good assessment of your bore, which this one's nice. And this here would be your brightness. Up and down. That's what that controls. And when you hit capture mode, all it does will change the language of the instruction. So that's what a pretty good mint bore looks like. And this rifle is short enough, I think we can get down and look at the throat and chamber. You see the leading gets a little bit heavier towards the chamber. So now we got something we can check. Yeah, see, there it is. That's leading. That's from the cast bullets. Not terrible, but still, it's accumulating. And now we can mix, yeah, see, that's where it's real heavy. Closer we get to the chamber, the heavier the leading is. So this is a very useful tool. Yeah, see it's bad right there in the rifling. Gonna have to clean it. Let's see if I can get down to the chamber itself. And you can, it's only 22 inches. There's some more chatter marks in the cutter. I think there we are. There's a round marks from a reamer. We're into the chamber. And it looks like there's some dirt and residue right there. Some leading right in the throat region. Some crusty stuff. So this is quite useful in determining And there's where your rifling starts. Okay, it's kind of hard for me to take a good look and use the camera, but I think you get the idea and the idea of the clarity of this. Okay, the next gun up is our M38 Mosin-Nagant carbine. Now this gun shot well. I have not shot cast bullets in it. Okay, but we're going to take a look down the bore here. And it's kind of hard for me to get this, but here's our, this one was counterbore. So there's your counterbore, cuts, and you get up, there's your rifling. Now if you notice the rifling here, this pitted or crusty stuff, I'm not quite sure what it is. Okay, I have been trying to clean it. It's about the only bad thing about this Borescope is you could see how really, if you take the time, how really screwed up. Now, if you see that, it's like this incrustation down in the grooves. It's not pitting. That's just crusty. Now, there's your rifling, your lands, and you see there's some little pitting on there and that. But this gun shot well. But as you notice, down in the grooves, it's your dark bore. Okay, and I've tried everything to clean this. I was cleaning this last weekend, and I can't get that out of there. Now the gun shoots well with jacketed mil surplus bullets, but as you see, you got this crustiness in there. So I'm going to have to do a video on how to, clean your bore. The one thing this does show you is you think your bores are clean or you think your bores are doing good. This camera shows you that they're really not. It's about the only downside of it. I mean, it's a nice item, but as you see, we've been working on this, and I tried several different things and scrubbed the hell out of this bore, and I can't loosen that stuff out of there. See it? So that's going to be something else to work on. Alright, next up is our M9130 that I leaded the barrel up bad. We're going to take a look down there. I'm just going to slide this in so you... And again, crustation. Now, I don't know if the shininess is lead or what, but I think that is leading in there. You got to wiggle this around to get a clear view. But it don't look good. This gun's got to be cleaned somewhat. It's a useful tool to tell how clean your gun is and get an idea what's going on. And like I said, if you got an area that you say, okay, what I'm going to do is just go down to a point like here, measure it, and take a picture. And they do it. Come on, capture. There it goes. Okay. Take a couple pictures, clean it, and then, leaving the thing set, come back to that spot and rotate around the barrel and see what it did, Do a rotation, see if you cleaned any of the stuff out. So it is kind of a useful tool. Now I'll show you basically the scope. This is just a basic operation, let you inspect the bore. Now I'll show you how to get the pictures on your computer. Alright, you go back into your kit and you get this little gizmo here. Power off the unit, then all you got to do is press in and let that card kind of pop itself out. Now when you start this up, and if it's telling you card error or something, it probably hasn't locked in, turn it off, push it down in all the way, then turn it on, and it'll clear that up. So now all our photos that we've taken are stored on this little card. And I believe it's the big slot at the top. You get it lined up with the gold things, like this, and then you just push the card into the little adapter reader. There's two different size slots there. It fits in the top one, but it won't fit in the bottom one. Okay, goes in the top. Don't ask me what the bottom one's for. Maybe a different type of card or something. But there you go, and then you can take your protective cap off, and now you have a USB device ready to be plugged in. Now let's go take a look at my computer and see what we end up with photo-wise. Okay, we plug our USB device into a USB port. Import pictures and videos. Give it a title. And then download. And there we have our photos. Okay. And it's kind of good to keep track of them. And now when you open these up, not really quite sharp images, but we'll expand it and you can see where, you know, there's your crustacean and that. This was on the Nagant earlier when I was inspecting it, the little M38 carbine. Okay, and then we've cleaned it, tried cleaning it with ammonia and that. And you see there's a little copper residue, probably pitting. There's going to be some sort of pitting, and it kind of loosened up some of the stuff. Now this photo, they're not very clear, especially when you magnify them. Now this one here is pretty good. Alright, this is the one we took of the Carcano bore. So it was doing good. I guess maybe the lighting has something to do with it. Because when I turned off the fluorescent light, well, here's a couple we took afterwards. Let's see how they look. Actually not too bad. This was taking a clear photo. Those other ones, the early ones I took out, I took the other day on this. So there's some on here that have been here a while. But here you go, the M38 gives you an idea. What you know you're looking at, and gives you a reference when you clean. This probably is pitting up under there. The bores are kind of rough and pitted. I don't really know if you would ever get that out, or if you did, it would just be black pits. But very useful tool. You can keep track of it if you have problems. You know, if you had buildup like I showed you of the leading, this is a good way. You take a few pictures, keep a visual with your measurements, and then try to clean it. And you know, then you got a reference to go back and see if you've actually cleaned it out. But that's a nice bore. That's a nice photo too. So it's fairly useful, fairly decent tool, kind of limited. You're only taking pictures upwards, but it's well worth. To me, it's worth it. I have a lot of guns. I have a lot of guns to inspect, and I'd like to see. You know, now I have a way of telling: are my cleaning methods effective or not? Okay, I mean that's the one thing this simple camera will do. So that's my review on it, and I think it's interesting, and I think it's worth the $200. It's worth, you know, for what it does.